Tired of serving up the same old tasteless victuals to your family? Step up your grill game with new seasonings from Coy's Southern Eats. Based off famous Southern recipes, our seasonings will add what's been missing to your family's feast. Add it to steak, chicken, shrimp, you name it. Serving up these fixings is going to make you the hero at home. So head on over to coyssoutherneats.com and order yours today. Come get you some.
Woo! Everybody, Razorback Nation, I'm going to tell you what, I want to thank Coy's Southern Eats. They are our sponsor. You can find all of their great products in Central and Northwest Arkansas. Make sure to go and get any of their great products for your tailgate, cookout, whatever you got going on at home. You can also find them at coyssoutherneats.com, walmart.com, and amazon.com. Go and re-experience the magic of Coy's and come get you some. Whoa, Drake, what does it feel like to have another win? Holy crap.
Feels good. It's been a while. It's been a while. Feels good to remember what that feels like. Really nice. It was a good hard-fought battle today. I'm glad they came out on top. You know, get a little bit of taste of success again as well, as much as you can as the season lasts, I guess.
I'm going to put this up here. John Everett, Wupek Sui, we have an OC. We have an offensive coordinator that is going to be able to use every possible positive thing that this offense can do to his advantage, and he did it today. First time calling a game. He did it on the field. KJ was 20 of 31, 255 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, had that 1 interception. Honestly, probably could have had a couple more, got lucky on a couple of instances. But nonetheless, Arkansas's back in the win column. Not only that, their season is still alive for a possible bowl. That's huge.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fight the rest of the season, of course. But today, that was fun. It was fun. There was definitely points where they looked comparable, to the last offense we saw 2 weeks ago against Mississippi State. But today, they looked, I guess, competent would be the right word to use. That I felt like KJ was playing throw and catch with receivers. I thought they were getting open well. Then Rocket Sanders had a great game. I think he rushed for over 100 yards, and he looked healthy. And then even A.J. Green had a pretty decent game as well. It's frustrating to see how good they can be when they're at full health like that and have everybody. But also, it was like the play calling was a lot, more simpler, not that long, drawn out stuff that we have been seeing over the last few weeks. And today they look like a very competent, very competitive football team, I thought.
Arkansas had 78 plays total. You didn't see that the defense was getting gassed either. They were still hanging in there, and that's to me, that's something that you can also hang your hat on, because now you've got the defense, even though they were out there Florida ran 70 plays and the offense ran 78. But usually when you see those, whenever you get 70 and above, that's when you really start to see a lot more fatigue.
Yeah.
They didn't. They kept rotating guys in and out, and everybody looked like they were at least somewhat fresh at the end of the game.
Yeah. And you could maybe see a little fatigue, but I thought they did very well in handling their own this week, as they have every single week. And I really want to shout out the secondary. I feel like the secondary this week.
Hell of a game.
Oh, very. Yeah. You know, Jalen Braxton stripping it and taking it to the house for 33 yards on the, first Florida drive. And, I was just looking, at the defensive, tackles and stuff. And let me read them off to you, like how it goes in order. You got Snacks Johnson, Dwight McLaughlin, Alif Walcott, Hudson Clark, and then finally linebacker Chris Paul. All those guys have 5 tackles, and then Jaheim Thomas with 5 tackles. But those secondary guys were flying around today and getting on the ball and creating, good pass breakups. We have just putting the hat on the ball, man. Just overall great effort from everyone. I felt like it was so much fun to watch an actual competitive, game all around.
I hate to admit this, because we're part of the Arkansas media, or the media that covers Arkansas. But I golly, last 2 minutes of that game, I turned into a fan again. I got some knots in my stomach. I sat there. I got a little, heart was racing a little bit. Got a little unsteady there as far as my thoughts on, are they going to pull this out? Is this going to be another, Sam Tastrophe? Yes, I just made that up. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah. They finished. They had 481 total yards. It was 255 passing, 226 rushing, balanced attack, something that we have not seen in the last 6 weeks, really 7 weeks, if you count Kent State.
Yeah.
This is a number that is going to blow your freaking mind.
Which guy?
Rocket Sanders rushed for 103 yards today on 18 carries. You were spot on with that. But here's the key. He hasn't rushed for over 100 yards total all year.
Oh, I believe that.
Today, he doubled that. That's how bad it's been.
Yeah, man. It was great seeing him. It was great seeing number 5 out there, man. It really looked like, the backfield we were used to seeing last year. I was telling my wife this because we're watching it together. I was like, almost every run he's getting bare minimum 3 yards. There, quite a few. There's a few plays where you got stopped at the line or maybe tackled for loss, but there's quite a few runs where just chipping it away 4, 5 yards there, and then that sets up maybe a pass or whatever. I think it showed how much a healthy backfield that we were used to seeing, really can affect our game. And I thought he did even a good job, in the backfield, picking up blocks and stuff today. That's something kind of I was looking at. It was just really good seeing number 5 back there. That was really cool.
It was. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing
you're
set
good
up here for the for post game with Sam, so I can get that recorded and thrown up there for everybody on
you're good, bro.
Our Facebook or YouTube and Facebook as well. One of the things also that I want to point out too is that KJ threw to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He had 8 different receivers today with a catch. 8 different receivers. That tells me he is not having to look guys down the field now. Now he's reacting again. I'm going to tell you what. If you took this game and put it to last year, I'm going to tell you it looked like the exact same thing. There was no difference in what they were doing today and what they did for the last 2 years under Kendall Briles. So that kind of leads me to believe that Kenny took that playbook and said, okay, this is what you're doing well. This is what we weren't doing well. And we've talked about this ad nauseum. I'm not going to beat the dead horse anymore. But today's offense looked like a oiled machine again. And it really made me feel good in giving, the fan base a chance to say, okay, we can get back on board with these guys. We don't have to sit there and wait. Are they going to come and, turn the corner? Are they going to start executing again? Because they did today with their first ever win in the Swamp. And you look at, I know this doesn't mean a lot, but last week you had the basketball team, got the fan base kind of re-energized with the Purdue win in the exhibition game. It was a real game, but without counting. And now you have the win in the Swamp, which is starting to steamroll and get a little bit of momentum. Everybody's starting to get a little bit more excited about this, and if they come out next week and turn it up against Hugh Freeze and just knock Auburn in the mouth, sky's the limit, man.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if we're not going to say this for 100% certain. I think Auburn is, maybe like a similar team to kind of like Florida we play today. So, well, man, we have to win if they want to go to a bowl game. But kind of like just circle back to what you were saying about how everyone looked well oiled, and you're hitting on the receivers, and that was something that I really like seeing. It was like they were just playing throw and catch. It seemed everybody was real comfortable. Receivers seemed like they were getting really good separation. Andrew Armstrong with those two great throw and catches from KJ Jefferson. I think one was 45, the next one was 48 or something like that. I think that's fun for, not just me and you, or not just for the fans, but me and you, covering them every week. And then finally seeing, a little bit of success from, not just the defense.
Yeah, and speaking of defense, how about Jalen Braxton? That was a hell of a game he had today. First play from scrimmage, strips the ball, turns the other way, and runs it for a touchdown and gets Arkansas up 14-0 super early within the first 20 seconds of the game. 20 seconds of the game. It just is like a boom, boom. And it was 3 minutes, his first 3 minutes, because that first drive. But one of the things that I noticed too is that, also, by the way, I want to throw this out there. That was forward progress, and you and I talked about this. That was forward progress, and it was bull. The offensive lineman come up and hit him. Guy got happy with his whistle, even though on the replay it shows that the strip was after the whistle. And I know that Sam was livid about that crap, which for good dang reason. But the thing is that Braxton was the guy who came up with the strip and the pull on that and on that play too. Yep. He had a hell of a game today.
Yeah. And I believe he's a freshman, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, our secondary guys were showing out today. Very, very happy to see that, seeing him out there. And I kind of want to hit on what John Everett says down there, talking about the Clark and Snacks change. I think they made the change right after half, where Snacks moved out to the hog, and I think Clark was playing safety. Then I guess Nudie maybe came out and played corner. I can't remember exactly how that ended up, but it seemed like that made quite a bit of difference as well. And I like Clark at that safety spot. I think that's his spot. And I think from that spot, he's a very high football IQ guy, and back there you can see quite a bit of the field. And I think that's where I think that's his position. But all around, pretty good safety. But yeah, the secondary guys had a heck of a game today. I was really, really happy to see those guys out there finding the ball and hitting some helmets, man. It was great.
So here's the deal. The last 7 weeks, Arkansas was having a hell of a time getting separation. It looked like they always had at least a guy blanketing them. Today, you had a lot of open guys until Ty Washington got hurt. I mean, jury's still out on on that one. We'll have to see. But sorry here. Sam's stepping up to the podium here, y'all. I'm getting this all squared up. Let's see. Okay. So you had guys running open, and KJ was finding the majority of them. There was a couple that I know for a fact that Rocket was open towards the end of the fourth quarter, and he hit Satania. I think it was either Satania or Tesla, but Rocket was wide open. Could have probably got that first down. They didn't, but I think that's where they kicked one of the field goals. But nonetheless, it was a breath of fresh air, not only for the fan base, but I think also for the Razorbacks, because they know how to. It looks like they're finding a way to really start being able to find that way to finish games again and finish games that are close.
Yeah. It's definitely been frustrating, to be covering them and they lose, what was it, 5 games by possession or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And then today finally see them, get over that hump and, be able to play good competitive football where you can, go down there and score that touchdown that you need. So exactly what you're saying. I think it's a breath of fresh air for also those players, man. And today, something I was thinking about, as well as everybody played, maybe, with Coach Kenny G going and being offensive coordinator now, maybe that, gave them, a new birth of energy, new birth of life, getting them hyped up. Because, at this point, they're playing, just for a bowl game, just to be in one. And I think, maybe with the new, offensive coordinator change, maybe they rallied around him, and maybe that's where part of that came from today.
Yep. John Everett, turn up that dang jukebox. I'm gonna tell you that's
yes,
yeah, that's pretty much where they're at right now. I can't wait to see the behind the scenes footage on the locker room after the win today. But we're gonna go to a quick break. After the break, we're gonna go and talk about some of the scores around the league, and then we'll look ahead to Auburn, and then we'll get out of here. We got to go right. So we're gonna take a quick break and from our sponsor.
Tired of serving up the same old tasteless victuals to your family? Step up your grill game with new seasonings from Cloy's Southern Eats. Based off famous Southern recipes, our seasonings will add what's been missing to your family's feast. Add it to steak, chicken, shrimp, you name it. Serving up these fixings is going to make you the hero at home. So head on over to CloysSouthernEats.com and order yours today. Come get you some.
All right, and we're back. So let's take a look at scores around the SEC. So one of the early games today was Tennessee versus Connecticut, and that wasn't a game, honestly, to say the least. There was one clip that I saw where Joe Milton hit dude down the middle of the field. He didn't have a guy within 20 yards of him. They ended up throttling Connecticut 59-3.
Yeah.
Another game that really piqued my interest was Ole Miss at A&M at Ole Miss today. A&M came roaring back in the fourth quarter with 2 scores, but Ole Miss ended up pulling it out 38-35 there at the Grove at Vaught Hemingway. That was a really kind of a seesaw battle. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, for sure. It's so interesting to me for like Texas A&M, every single year. And it's really funny now that I think back to it. I think even Lane Kiffin said something about having a top 10 recruiting class and never having, 10 wins in a season or whatever it was. And no real hate towards them. I mean, I wouldn't say I really like Texas A&M, but honestly think that's funny, the last couple of seasons to see them not having the success that they should be having. Not that Arkansas is totally much better, but yeah, I think that's funny to just see Lane Kiffin to be able to say that and then get the W today. It's just kind of humorous, I think.
So South Carolina, dude, they've had a bad season. I'm not gonna lie, they kind of went the other way. So they pull out a win against Jacksonville State, little old Jacksonville State. Now, Jacksonville State had a 7-point lead in the third quarter. They were up 28-21. And then South Carolina ended up scoring the last 17 points of the ball game for a 10-point win. And I'm going to tell you what, if South Carolina loses that and they dropped 2-7, I'm pretty sure that Shane Beamer might be out the door, because that's one of those teams you just cannot lose to.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. And kind of like what you're saying, I looked at the scores, at third quarter. I was like, oh my gosh, what? That's definitely not a team that you should be losing to. Well, one, as an SEC school, and then also, I think Spencer Rattler, he's a pretty good quarterback. I don't necessarily know how. And I can't tell you, necessarily every single stat he had today, but yeah, man, that is kind of weird to see. Good for them. I'm glad they pulled out the dub, and good for Shane Beamer, because if they lost that, he would definitely be on the hot seat. I think he's kind of in the same spot where Arkansas is right now too, right?
Yeah, they are. They're well. Yeah, 3-6. So, and Fisher, I'm going to tell you what, Jimbo, that guy is on the hot seat. That guy is squarely on the hot seat. It doesn't matter where they stand right now. He is squarely on the hot seat, like you said, with having a top class and only pumping out a 5-4 record, or 5-4 record through 9 games this year. That's almost that's unacceptable, just based on, one, the salary that he gets, and two, the recruiting that he's had. It's not equating to wins. So I don't know. You might see a change there. Current games that are going on right now, you've got one of the two marquee matchups of the day. You've got Georgia and Missouri at Georgia. Georgia's got a 10-7 lead. Let's see. Early in the second quarter with 11:41 left, and that one's on CBS. And then I don't want to call it the toilet bowl, but Auburn and Vanderbilt are squaring off right now. Back into the first quarter, Auburn's up 7-0, and we'll see if the Fighting Clark Lees of Vanderbilt can maybe pull out a victory and send Auburn on a little bit of a nasty road trip, because they come to Arkansas next week.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. Will they do it?
Yeah.
Probably not. But yeah, that'd be super cool to see. And sometimes, and it's weird because sometimes, feel bad for Vanderbilt. I mean, they're good at baseball and they're decent at basketball, but man, sometimes they just get punished. But yeah, I would like to see Vanderbilt get the dub against Auburn. That'd be pretty cool to see. And that might even help us or help the Arkansas team next week when they play.
Yeah. So the two other games this evening, one is Kentucky at Mississippi State, and then you got the marquee matchup tonight of LSU traveling to Alabama. College Game Day was there today. Mm-hmm. It's going to be on CBS prime time again this evening. They CBS seems to do that each year with the either Alabama LSU or Alabama Auburn, whatever one's going to probably be the best matchup. So but tonight it's going to be Alabama and LSU. So Larry is asking, Larry H asked real quick. He said, "What happened at the end of regulation?" So there was a substitution infraction that moved the ball back 5 yards. And that really set the tone for that kick there at the very end, because the kicker was kicking from the left hash. And instead of keeping it on line, and Drake, you and I were talking about this, the guy kicked across the pipes, and he tried to angle it through. For what reason, I have no idea, other than the fact that his balls may tail off to the left more, which was thinking that if I would kick it more right, it'll tail back into the middle, which is what a lot of kickers do. But this thing didn't tail off. This thing kept going straight right and then went wide right. And so that's what happened at the end of the game. And that's what forced overtime and led Arkansas to the victory with that winning pass from KJ to Andrew Armstrong. So, Larry, that's how that game ended. Also, make sure y'all, if you to share and also like our page, you get all of the content that we post here on Hogville. And if you do like it, you get a notification every time we go live. So you guys can jump in if you want to, or you guys can come back at another time. If you're busy, watch our shows. We've got great content from myself and Drake on the post-game shows. You got myself and Otis and Dudley on Sundays. You also got Kevin McPherson. He's going to be doing pre and post-game shows after basketball as well. So anytime we go live, if you do like the page, that will come up for you. So let's look ahead to next week. The last of 3 straight home games now for the Razorbacks. This schedule has sucked. Period. End of story. You get 2 home games, then you get 3 home games, and then 5 away games, and then you get home game, away game, and then 3 home games at the end. So it's really, really tough to for this Razorback team to get some momentum. Not to mention you got the whole mess with the offensive coordinator. That's been fixed. You got 3 more games at home now. You got the first ever win at the Swamp. What does Arkansas need to do next week to keep that streak alive of trying to get to another bowl game at the end of this season?
I think it'll be something similar to what they did today. Like we were saying earlier, all around they look like a pretty competitive, competent football team, at every position. Still, the offensive line still had their issues. They still gave up some sacks and tackles for loss today. But I think if they do something comparable of what they did today, they'll win next week. And same with the rest of the games with FIU and Mizzou being the big one, I think. But I think if they do something pretty similar to what they did today, I think they can beat Auburn next week. Granted, I've said that probably every single week this season. So take it as you will. But that was also when they weren't playing like they did today. But yeah. I don't know. I believe if they just kind of did what they did today, they can have similar results next week.
Yep. Sam's still actually on the podium. I mean, this has been quite a long little jaunt for him. Looks like
to talk about.
Yeah. So it looks like he just walked away from the podium. They'll have players next. But for me, I think that first off, I'm not changing this shirt because I told you beforehand, I said, I'm going to change it up today. Before this game ever got done with regulation, I said, I got to do something a little bit different. I know it sounds dumb. I know that it's superstitious. I'm not a little stitious. I'm superstitious.
Yeah.
And and I felt like the collared shirt wasn't working. It just did not play. And then you get the win after I changed the shirt. And you know what? Not changing it for the rest of the season now. End of story. John Everett, don't you dare change shirts. I won't. I mean, I'll wash it, but I'm not going to change it.
Can't wash it. No.
I don't know, man. You don't want to sit beside me post game next week in the parking lot. Everybody leaving as me sitting there with my stinky shirt. I don't think you want that.
If it equates to a win, I'm fine with it.
Anything for a win. That's all that matters. So. Yeah. I don't know. I'll debate it. If it gets soiled, I might have to. If it doesn't, then let it roll. We'll just let it roll. Because at this point, I'll do anything to help this team get a win. And I know I'm being a fan at this second, and it's really hard not to because there's been so much bad football these last 6 weeks. And I even had somebody come up to me this last week and said, "Oh, by the way, did you know the Buy scored again?" And the Buy's up 60-0 on the Razorbacks. I'm like, man, get out of here. I don't want to hear that crap. Just get out of here. But I know they turned it around. They have got to keep this momentum up. They went out, they go to a bowl game. And I don't think I could have said that 2 weeks ago. I don't think I could have said that yesterday. But John Everett, mine would have hot sauce stains all over it. Oh, geez. Oh, you guys are killing me with these comments. These are great. Also, make sure to tune in tomorrow at 3 o'clock for myself and Otis with the Razorback Football Report with Otis Kirk. Also at 4:30, the Razorback Diamond Report with Dudley Dawson. It's going to be a lot of women's basketball. Mike Neighbors is firing it up this week, and so Dudley's got a lot to talk about with that. And then we got a lot to talk about tomorrow after the fact with Otis and myself at 3 o'clock. So, Drake, gonna get you out of here, my man. We got to go. We got some typing to do, and y'all. Next week we will be back here. Game kickoff is at 3 p.m. So it'll be dark. We fall back tonight. Time change. Everybody gets an extra hour of sleep, extra hour of partying. Whatever you want to do whenever the time changes. So that's your own deal. But myself, I'm going to be sleeping. Drake, what are you going to be doing?
I don't know, man. I'm pretty boring. I don't know, man. I'm a big hunter, so I am looking forward. I probably won't go hunting Saturday, but Sunday.
That's the opening of modern gun season too.
Yes, sir, it is. Yeah. So, I mean, if I'm not watching sports or something stupid on YouTube or something that pertains to hunting, I'm not doing much of anything else.
Well, everybody enjoy that extra hour of sleep tonight, y'all. We'll be back next week right after the game against Auburn. And I'm hoping it's going to be after another Razorback win and one step closer to a bowl game. So we'll have – I don't want to get the hopes up, but, hey, you know what? I'm still going to bring the shirt tomorrow or next week. So we'll do that then. So for myself, Jason Pattison, and for Drake, I want to thank you guys all for jumping on with us today. And hold on. I'm going to get this off of here real quick. Oh, sorry, Larry, about that. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. We'll see you tomorrow.
Tired of serving up the same old tasteless victuals to your family? Step up your grill game with new seasonings from Cloy's Southern Eats. Based off famous Southern recipes, our seasonings will add what's been missing to your family's feast. Add it to steak, chicken, shrimp, you name it. Serving up these fixings is going to make you the hero at home. So head on over to CloysSouthernEats.com and order yours today. Come get you some.